Deep in the deserts of Sudan, hidden from the world, stand hundreds of pyramids that few people have ever heard of. These are the Nubian Pyramids, the forgotten tombs of the Kingdom of Kush, a civilization that once rivaled Egypt itself. But how did these pyramids come to be? Why do they look so different from those in Giza? And why has history largely ignored them? Today, we uncover the secrets of Africa's lost pyramids. Chapter 1: The Rise of the Nubian Pyramids. When people think of pyramids, their minds immediately go to Egypt. But far to the south, deep in the Sudanese desert, another civilization was building its own monumental tombs. These were the Pyramids of Kush, an ancient African kingdom that once ruled over both Nubia and Egypt. Unlike the massive structures of Giza, Nubian pyramids were taller, steeper, and more numerous, with over 200 pyramids still standing today, more than double the number found in Egypt. Built between 800 BCE and 350 CE, these pyramids served as royal tombs for the kings and queens of Kush. But how did this kingdom rise to power? And why did they choose to build pyramids, just like their Egyptian neighbors? To answer that, we need to go back thousands of years to a time when Egypt and Kush were locked in a struggle for dominance over the Nile. Chapter 2: How were they built? The engineering of the Nubian pyramids. When people think of pyramids, they imagine the towering structures of Giza. But the Nubian pyramids had a completely different architectural style. These structures were much steeper and narrower, with angles reaching up to 70 degrees, compared to the 50-degree slopes of the Egyptian pyramids. But how were they built? Unlike the Egyptians, who used tens of thousands of laborers to transport massive limestone blocks, the Kushites used smaller, locally sourced stones, making construction much faster. Their pyramids were also more compact, often standing between 6 to 30 meters tall, a fraction the size of Egypt's colossal monuments. Recent excavations suggest that the Kushites may have used ramps and scaffolding, similar to the techniques employed by the Egyptians. However, one mystery remains. Many of the Nubian pyramids have capstones missing, leading archaeologists to wonder whether they once bore golden tips or symbols of religious significance. But these structures were more than just tombs. They were a statement of power, directly influenced by Egypt's architectural wonders, yet uniquely Kushite in design. So, why did the rulers of Kush adopt this pyramid-building tradition? The answer lies in the deep connection between these two civilizations. Chapter 3: The Kingdom of Kush, Rulers of the Forgotten Pyramids. The Kingdom of Kush was far more than just Egypt's southern neighbor. It was a powerful civilization that once ruled over vast regions of Africa. At its peak, Kush controlled trade routes, commanded a strong military, and even conquered Egypt itself, ruling as the 25th dynasty of pharaohs. The Kushite kings and queens were buried in the Nubian pyramids, believing these grand structures would ensure their journey to the afterlife. Among the most famous rulers was King Pi, the Kushite pharaoh who unified Egypt and Nubia under one rule. His successors, like Taharqa, continued to expand Kushite influence, leaving behind monuments that still stand today. But the Kushites had their own traditions, distinct from the Egyptians. Many of their rulers were powerful warrior queens, known as the Candaces or Candaces. These queens, like Amon-Irenas, led armies into battle, resisting Roman invasions and shaping the legacy of Nubia. Yet, despite their power, the Kingdom of Kush eventually declined. But before its fall, it left behind something extraordinary: hundreds of pyramids, standing as silent witnesses to a forgotten empire. Chapter 4: Burial Traditions and Royal Tombs. The Nubian pyramids were not just monuments. They were gateways to the afterlife. Unlike the vast burial chambers of Egyptian pharaohs, the tombs of Kushite rulers were much smaller and hidden beneath the pyramids. Instead of grand corridors, they had narrow underground chambers, sealed off after burial. Inside, archaeologists have found intricately decorated walls, featuring religious symbols, deities, and hieroglyphic inscriptions. Many of these tombs contain treasures, gold jewelry, pottery, and even weapons, believed to accompany the dead in the afterlife. One unique Kushite burial tradition was a practice of horse sacrifices. Several tombs contained the remains of horses, buried alongside their royal owners as a sign of status and power. Some rulers were even laid to rest with battle armor and shields, reinforcing the warrior legacy of Kush. However, many of these royal tombs were plundered in ancient times. By the time archaeologists rediscovered them, most of the treasures had been lost, leaving behind only fragments of a once great civilization. But one mystery still remains. What secrets are hidden in the unexplored pyramids of Nubia? Could there still be untouched tombs waiting to be discovered? Chapter 5. Theories and Mysteries, Unsolved Secrets of the Nubian Pyramids. Despite decades of research, the Nubian Pyramids still hold many secrets. Unlike Egypt's Giza complex, which has been extensively explored, many Kushite tombs remain sealed, untouched for thousands of years. Could undiscovered treasures or lost inscriptions still lie beneath the sands? One of the biggest mysteries is why the Kushites built so many pyramids in such a short period. Some historians believe they were directly influenced by Egyptian culture, but others argue that the Kushites had their own independent burial traditions, merely adapting the pyramid style. Another enigma is the missing capstones. Some researchers speculate that they were once covered in gold or religious carvings, making them prime targets for looters. But without concrete evidence, we may never know what these pyramids originally looked like. Then, there's the question of what happened to the last rulers of Kush. As the kingdom declined, pyramid construction suddenly stopped. Why? Did they abandon their burial traditions? Or were they forced to flee as invaders took over? Even today, new discoveries are being made. Modern technology, including ground-penetrating radar, has revealed hidden structures beneath the desert surface. Could the next great archaeological find be waiting beneath the sands of Nubia? Chapter 6. Legacy and Modern Discoveries. The Nubian Pyramids may not be as famous as those of Egypt, but their impact on history is undeniable. They stand as a testament to the power and influence of the Kingdom of Kush, a civilization that once ruled over vast parts of Africa and even Egypt itself. For centuries, these pyramids remained forgotten by the world, buried under layers of sand and history. It wasn't until the 19th century that European explorers rediscovered them, sparking interest in Sudan's ancient past. However, much of the exploration was destructive. Many pyramids were damaged by treasure hunters searching for gold. Today, archaeologists are working to preserve and protect these monuments. Using satellite imaging and ground-penetrating radar, they are uncovering new tombs and artifacts, revealing more about the lives of the Kushite rulers. Recent discoveries suggest that there may still be hidden burial chambers waiting to be explored, possibly containing lost treasures and inscriptions that could rewrite history. But beyond archaeology, the legacy of the Nubian Pyramids lives on in the culture and identity of modern Sudan. These structures are symbols of African heritage and resilience, reminding the world that Africa's history is much deeper and richer than often portrayed. Yet, one question remains. What other secrets lie buried beneath the sands of Nubia? Conclusion: the forgotten pyramids of Africa. The Nubian Pyramids are more than just remnants of an ancient civilization. They are a hidden chapter history, overshadowed by their Egyptian counterparts. Yet, they tell the story of a kingdom that once ruled from the heart of Africa to the lands of the pharaohs. Their unique design, burial rituals, and unsolved mysteries continue to intrigue archaeologists and historians. With modern technology revealing new tombs and hidden structures, we are only beginning to understand the full extent of the Kushite legacy. But despite their importance, these pyramids remain relatively unknown to the world. Why do we learn so much about Egypt, but so little about Kush? Shouldn't these monuments receive the same recognition? As we uncover more secrets beneath the sands of Nubia, one thing is certain. The history of Africa is far deeper and richer than we ever imagined. What do you think? Could there still be undiscovered pyramids waiting beneath the desert? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring ancient mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more hidden history.